Okay, you'll note that this is just my choice, but I kind of group things, especially on the sides, in multiple series. So you'll see all the rocks, and then it goes up to these tiles, and then over on the side, I've got the glass half marbles, and you'll see that I kind of group things together, interspersing the different items on this. And I kind of think of it kind of like if you're planting flowers, you want a grouping rather than just sporadic all over the place. Anyway, so just these are my thoughts on how I do it. So I put a group of stuff together, and then you'll see how this kind of runs down into the rocks here, and I've got a few of the green marbles, and then it kind of goes on over, and I got some green rocks there, and then as you can see it just kind of flows forward. And on the side views, you don't have to put quite as much if people aren't going to see the sides. So you can go more with the cheaper items. These green things, the glass things, basically can be found in the flower departments. And they've got flat backs. They are slick, so it takes a little bit to stick them. Anyway, and rocks are inexpensive. Those also you can find in the garden, river rock. And anyway, so they're much cheaper than buying the ceramic tiles or the decals. So just some options for you. Okay, the grouting seems to be what everybody is concerned about. So what you're going to need is a bucket, and yes, I just rinsed my hands in there, a sponge, a couple brushes to get in between the little items, and then you're going to need grout, and I use just a plastic throwaway bowl with a spoon. And you can see that the consistency is kind of between a cake mix and a brownie mix. So you can see this here. I cannot use gloves, but it does suggest gloves. But anyway, so that's about the consistency. It's a little bit thin to get in between all the cracks and crevices. And basically you just push it through everything, and you will see that I can wipe some off, but at this point it's going to dry on here for about a half an hour before I get my first rinsing. So anyway, tried to put it through all the little cracks and crevices, and believe me, it does come off fairly easy. So that's the hardest part. You'll see back here, I haven't started grouting yet, so I do this in stages. More rinsing. and it's not going to become real clean this time. Not until the next rinsing. So, after a glass of wine, or two if you're lush like me, approximately a half hour, you're going to rinse out your bucket and get fresh water. Do not pour it down the sink. Your old dirty water, take it outside and throw it out. And you'll see that there's still a residue on many of the things, and that will all come off during this one. This wiping will clean it off. Okay, I do use a little tiny brush. It's barely damp to get around the little, get in between the little portions of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna paint these. So this is an enamel paint. You can use an acrylic paint, and I just mixed it with water and begin painting. And this will have a more or less like a watercolor effect. Okay, I've pretty much done all the other sides of my pot, and I'm just doing the final side as far as grouting. Now, most people get freaked out because of grouting, but it's so easy to work with. As you can see, I've just kind of graduated it in to the coloring, and don't worry about it, it'll wipe off. The one thing to know about grout is you can, if it gets too dry, just add a touch like a tablespoon of water. If it's too wet, just add a little bit more grout. But it's so easy to work with. It is a little harder when you have multiple surfaces like I do, where you have to kind of jam it in. Here, these are easy because they're thin, but then you'll see the rocks there. And so just cover them all up. Try and get all the holes. If you don't get all the holes, don't worry about it. You've got a little bit of grout that you can mix with just a touch of water, or just take a piece and it's almost like clay that you can just fill it in.